What's up everyone? Path of Exile 2 has just announced their next big patch, which should be dropping this week. So let's talk about it. And I also want to talk about Dawn of the Hunt as a whole and the early access going forward, because I think we're now quite a long way in. We're like 5 months in, nearly 6 months into the early access development, and their initial plan was that this would be out very soon. So I kind of want to talk about that as well. So let's get into it. So first up, the patch. Okay, so let's get into it because there's some really good stuff in here. So first they mentioned that private leagues will be coming along with this patch, which is good for people that are looking forward to that. Then we have quick use buttons on strongboxes and essences. So this is really good for two reasons. One, if you didn't know this was possible, it's already in the game. So whenever you find a strongbox out in the wild and it's like unidentified, you can use a scroll of wisdom to identify it. You can also use the normal crafting item, so like an orb of transmutation, to add an affix on it. You can use like a regal orb to turn it into a rare strongbox, and then you can use exalteds to give it additional affixes. So when you find like a basic strongbox, you can keep adding more and more modifiers to it, so it can like have extra quality, extra rarity. And that's something that we've been able to do since the release of early access. So you might not even know that, but now they're going to have buttons on them, and you can just go over to it and like click, add, and then it'll just like evolve the strongbox, which is really good. The second reason that's really good is because when you're on a big map, I've lost a map before because I've been opening my inventory and messing around trying to drag things over and got one shot by something, which sucks. And if you're on console, this is even harder to do apparently. So yeah, this is a big W. Additionally, with essences, you can corrupt them so that they can have a chance of dropping the rarer essences. So this is a really good change, something that, you know, it's a quality of life change really. It's nothing to be excited really about, but it's definitely nice. And I think that's what we can say about a lot of this. It's not like there's no huge new mechanic, but everything is going to feel nice when it's here. So next, the Breach. Breach had significant improvements with spawning monsters in very narrow or tight areas. So all the time since the launch of, you know, early access, breaches have had this problem where if you have like a big open map, like a big open field, and you have a breach, that's like the golden map. Like if you have like, I don't know, 5 breaches in a big open field, you're gonna be doing a lot, because as it goes and expands, you're gonna have more and more monsters just pulling in from all directions, and they're all gonna be dropping items, all dropping breach splinters, all dropping, you know, rare items, potential divines. You know, it feels good. But then if you're on like a really tight map, you know, like the really tight corridors or like the dungeon-like maps, those kind of things, and you have a breach, it kind of sucks because all you have is a narrow corridor, and you can only get like 1 or 2 mobs spawn at once. So that sucks, and they're changing it, which is really, really good. So it's worse in those areas because you can only fit so many monsters in a given space. We made a change now so that monsters that spawn in breaches will be more reliable and drastically raises the minimum experience of a breach encounter, which I hope that means the worst case scenario, a breach still feels pretty good. You don't feel like, you don't get that, oh, it's this map when you have breaches on the map. So that's good. Additionally, change the minimum time of a breach, assuming no monsters are defeated, to 20 seconds from 12. So, you know, basically when a breach is going bad, it won't feel as bad. I think that's the kind of bringing up the floor of breaches, which is a good thing. As you defeat enemies, it will extend the time. Previously, we spoke about dropping fewer stacks of splinters in larger quantities, but instead of that, we're making a more drastic improvement. They will now vacuum up the breach splinters dropped during a breach encounter and drop them at your location. Incredible. I mean, if this will essentially work, I hope, the same as a simulacrum, you know, or like a delirium. As you go through a delirium and you finish it, it just drops like 20 splinters and then all the other things with it, you know, the emotions with it. Similarly, like we already have this in what do you call it? Like a breach stone. When you pop a breach stone and you go to fight the boss, you clear your way through this breach all the way to the end, and then it just piles all your items up. I hope it's like that. I hope it's not just the splinters. I hope it's all of the other things as well. That would be nice. But either way, this is a massive W. Going around and picking up individual splinters either during a breach or leaving them all till the end, neither feels good. Massive win. I think a lot of us are really burned out on breaches after 5 months, so this is great. Asmiri Wisps, personal opinion, I think these are unsavable. I think Asmiri Wisps are terrible so far. So 2 changes. First is when you activate a second Wisp, the Wisp will now always target the same rare monsters as the one you're already chasing. This was uncommon during the campaign and mostly in endgame. Yeah, I've seen that before. You know, you have 2 Wisps and they go off in different directions. You lose one of them, which that's a good change. The other is that the Spirit of the Spring Hare and Spirit of the Fox were 2 rare. We made these more common. Yeah, these were selling for like crazy amounts. I've I fully spec'd into Azmiri wisps, did tons, and then I also, when they did the recent change to improve the loot, I respec'd back into wisps, did a ton of wisps, never had a good item. It's never felt worth it. So this is good. These are actually quite good. They I think one of these gives spirit, if I'm not crazy. I think one of these is really good. I can't remember which one. So that's going to be good. Overall, I think wisps are bad. Personal opinion, you might disagree. I think wisps, like, fundamentally are a bad end game mechanic. They just don't make sense. Like, when I think of PoE, when I think of like an ARPG, when we're in the campaign, we can like like chase a little wisp around, that's fine. But when you're at end game, we're min-maxing. Like, we're pushing our character as hard as we can so we can like clear things as fast as possible, make as much divines per hour. Like, we're really pushing. And then to think like you're one-shotting everything on the screen, and then you have this wisp and it just floats along like really slow, and we have to wait for it to go all the way to a rare, and then we've got to wait for it to go into the... It's just not a good mechanic for endgame. I think this should be like a campaign thing, and then it should just be like, when you get to endgame, monsters can just be randomly just infused by a wisp. Just randomly you're fighting a rare, and it will, maybe as you defeat it, it pops back up and it's infused by a wisp. That would be a good change. I think what we've got now is bad. I just ignore them. I just fully ignore wisps right now. Rogue Exile visibility improvements had one main issue. You'd be clearing through a map, all of a sudden a large life bar at the top of your screen. Yep. We've reduced the aggro range, so they're far more commonly on screen before it appears. You may see them before the life bar presents itself. If you were to hit them off screen, they'll still aggro immediately. The second is that even when you did find one on screen, you could barely see them, especially in darker maps. We made the light on them far brighter for them to stand out and be more obvious when surrounded by enemies. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've been playing this game a lot, like hundreds of hours. I played Dawn of the Hunt for a lot. Like, I don't even know how much, like so much, multiple characters. And in the last 2 days of playing, maybe 3, I've not seen a Rogue Exile. So these feel rare. I mean, I'm not spec'd into them. Maybe let me know what your experience has been, but I barely see them. I've not had a good drop off them yet either. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if these are working as intended. Maybe you're seeing loads of them. I don't know. Item jump improvements. Major patch to upgrade loot, but there are still some outliers we're working on. We're going to be making perfect jeweler's orbs and level 20 uncut skill gems significantly more common. They will still be relatively rare, but in the case, people would be very far into endgame and character progression before finding one. Yeah, this is a massive W. This is a massive W. I think huge. So the best thing is, if you pop a perfect jeweler's orb, you get all of the orbs before it. So finding one of these feels amazing. And yeah, like they say, you would be fairly far into endgame. I think I was like tier 15 mapped before I found my first one. And it came from a strongbox. And then all the others for my other skills, I had to buy like off the exchange. So yeah, this is huge. The skill gems, fine. Like, it's an extra level, but the extra jeweler's orb, like the extra slot for a jewel, is massive. So yeah, that's a big win. Item label additions. For those not using custom item filters, you might have observed some more important items not being obvious. We've added outlines to the labels for precursor tablets, logbooks, and expedition chests. That's cool. Shrine improvements. We've disabled the Greed Shrine and the Corrupting Shrine. These are just bad, and often you right-clicked off the buff because converting good items into gold or corrupting equipment is barely beneficial. Yep, agree. On top of that, we made some of the rarer shrines, such as Diamond Shrine and Divine Shrine, appear more often, and we've extended the duration of them. I mean, this is cool. I mean, yeah, this was done from the start, so this is good change. I mean, I think you can say this about everything. Everything here, like whether you like the core system, everything they've mentioned so far has been a good improvement. So yeah, this is... I think everybody right-clicks off that buff when they get it. You know, the turn loot into gold. Like, I think we all turn that off. So yeah, we're adding the ritual stash tab that'll be able to store your omens and audience with the king fragments. That's good. That's good. I mean, it goes in the store, so it's going to be a controversial thing for some people. But I'm a sucker. I'll be getting that. So yeah, ritual. For the audience, we're adding the socketable stash tab to hold all your runes, talismans, and soul cores. That's good. That's a good one. This tab comes with a button that allows you to upgrade your runes from one tier to the next instead of using the reforging bench. Yeah, that's really good. I mean, additionally, like they don't drop now, right? Like they don't even drop it. I think once you get to endgame now, they only drop at tier 3, which is a good change. But yeah, 2 more stash tabs. That's pretty good. And then just a bunch of miscellaneous things. Nothing too exciting. quick travel to town on the right side of your waypoint, bulk move items, a filter to use unidentified items per item tier. There's nothing wild here. There's nothing wild. Estimated drop time, end of the week. So likely like tomorrow, Friday. I don't know. I think this patch is a massive W. I think this is all very, very good stuff. Okay, now I just want to quickly talk about Dawn of the Hunt and like the future and, you know, where we go from here. So let me just do this. We'll just go to the game. Dawn of the Hunt's been out for like, what, 5 weeks now? And I gotta say, it had a shocking launch. Shocking launch. The combat came out worse. The loot was nerfed. It was terrible. Getting through the campaign was a slog. Like, it was just bad. And the technical problems, I mean, it's all relative to what you experience, but personally, it was really bad. The EU servers were really, really rough. I had to play on like, I was playing on like Frankfurt for a week. I was playing on like the US servers for a little bit because there was just constant disconnects on the EU servers and you were getting rolled back. So you'd like do a boss, finish it, disconnect, and then roll back to before the boss. You would lose the boss fight. The boss fight never happened. Any loot you got just didn't happen. You were rolled back. That was going on for like 3 weeks. And I'm still getting micro stutters today when there was like nothing last, you know, before Dawn of the Hunt. So I think the launch itself was really, really bad, like the initial launch. And that led to a lot of negativity. And like when people came back to try it, you know, you come back and you go, ooh, let's try a new patch. You jump in and it's worse. You just if you're not like a big ARPG lover, a big PoE2 like love, you don't love the game, you just dip, you go, it's worse, I'm out. And that's what I think a lot of people did. And it's clear in the player count that happened. So that's a shame. I will say now where we are right now, like where we are like over a month in, a lot of big patches, it's feeling good. It's feeling good. The changes to endgame feel good. The changes to the combat feel good. The loot feels good. But if we were to say like, here's the game before Dawn of the Hunt, here's the game after Dawn of the Hunt, you know, you've played it for a month, here's the two versions. Has the game grown significantly? Are we really progressing through early access and, you know, ready for full release? No, I'm very positive about this game. I love this game. I was playing it for a couple of hours before making this. Like, I'm still really enjoying the game. But has it grown and evolved with Dawn of the Hunt? Absolutely not. If you look at all we've got, a lot of the big patches have rolled back to where we were. The loot has gone back to how it was before the patch where they, you know, re-nerf. The combat has gone back to how it was because it got worse this patch. Lots of the systems were just bug fixing and tidying up problems that came and fixing the Huntress. The Huntress still is like a one-trick pony. The Huntress still like the parry. The Huntress was designed as a parry, dodge back, get back in the combat kind of character. And that's how they want it to be played. But that doesn't really work with the end game and how the monsters act, which is why most people are just throwing lightning spears and playing ranged because it isn't really working great. And on top of that, the new endgame systems as Miri spirits, if you like them, power to you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Awesome. But I know a lot of people aren't. I personally think they're the most useless, dead mechanic at endgame. I actively avoid them. If I see one, I go in the other direction. They frustrate me. I've never had in probably a couple of 100 hours of Dawn of the Hunt, being specced into them a lot of it too, I've never had a good drop outside of like an Exalted Orb. But the time you have to spend following them, I think they're terrible. I think they can be fixed very easily if you take out the following of them and you massively up the loot of them. They can be improved. But right now at endgame, they don't really add anything. Rogue Exiles, I think they're really cool. I think Rogue Exiles are awesome, but I never find them. I don't think I've seen one this week. Like, were we on Wednesday? I don't think I've seen one this whole week, and I've been playing every day. So they're very, very rare. Maybe we need more of them. I don't know. So, you know, the positives and the steps we've taken forward from this patch, I'd say, would be, you know, we've got the new class, which is good. The new ascendancies are pretty good. They've added loads of uniques. They've nerfed a lot of the old ones, which is frustrating, but they've added loads of new uniques, loads of new support gems, things like that. But there's a long way to go. If you use a gem and you like click down, like we now have all the spear skills, and these are amazing. I think the taming companions is a really cool feature. Is it usable much at endgame? No, but it's very, very cool. A couple of balance patches, and they're going to be much more usable. We've got Spectres now, which is a big system, and it's really fun. You know, going around and capturing the Spectres. I went through all that. Really fun. Really, really cool. There's some really good like hidden gems in there that are fun to go and capture. So I think that's really good. And there are some good things that came with the league. But looking what's left, like we still have this whole section here, like this whole, you know, dagger class. We have the primal class, which is like the druid. We've got the flail. We've got the axe and the sword. We've got a long way to go. And then on top of that, we've got a lot more. So these are going to be new classes, right? So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new classes. And then we've got a lot more ascendancies to get. And we've got 3 more chapters of story to get through. And I'm going to be honest with you, we need a lot more endgame. We need a lot more endgame. So, they said it's coming out this year. They said we're coming out of early access this year. And I love the game, but if Dawn of the Hunt was anything to go by, the next big league needs to be a massive step up from this. The content that comes needs to land. They can't drop a league and then spend a month hotfixing it. You know, it needs to be a step forward so that we can start moving the game out of early access. Because yeah, I think it's been a troubling league. Even though I've enjoyed it, it has been quite troubling. On top of that, you know, there's the PoE 1 situation. I'm not even getting into that drama. I'm not even opening that box of worms, but they're making PoE 1 alongside PoE 2, and that community is not happy. They are hungry. They are hungry for content. They've been playing the same league since we were watching teaser trailers of PoE 2. Like they are hungry for content, and you know, juggling that and PoE 2. If a new league for PoE 1 drops soon and they have to move hands on deck, that might slow development for PoE 2. We don't know. That's just a guessing. But yeah, I think saying early access is going to end this year is brave. I don't think we're there. I think it's fun to play, but we are deep in early access right now, and I think we've got a long way to go. I really want to know what you guys think, though. Are you still playing? Do you agree with any of these things, or you completely in the other camp? Do you think, like, you know, this patch was incredible, we're nearly there? Let me know. I'm really curious. Yeah, but that's it. I just wanted to talk about the new patch, talk about the game a little bit. I'm still playing. I still love it. Maybe I'm not making as many like guides because there's not really much new content to talk about. But yeah, I'm still playing. There's going to be more coming from this, and I'm really hopeful for the future. I just don't think it's anytime soon. I think this is going to be a long development, and I think it'll be worth the wait, but I do think we'll be waiting for it. But that's it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more. I've been streaming a ton of this as well. I've been playing a lot of end game stuff over on stream. If you want to come hang out, love to see you there. But thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.